If you're looking to make your basic home smart, check out digitaldelight.com/shop, where they have a variety of different smart home technology solutions that help make smart home shopping easy for you. Check out digitaldelight.com/shop. Support the Y Experience with JJ Cannon by becoming a Patreon. Every month, the Y Experience will receive a regular source of income from supporters like you who've pledged through Patreon. Having your ongoing support for as little as $1 a month means we spend less time thinking about business and more time creating quality content for you. Well, hello, friends. How are you? I am JJ Cannon, and you're listening to the Y Experience. And have you ever heard that playing team sports as a youth could help improve the chances of being successful later on in life? I mean, I've often heard that, and, at a younger age, it didn't really resonate. But, as I get older and I look back, at some of the interactions that I had with team sports, and now, especially with my girls, I see the impact that team sports can play on their daily life. Me growing up, I tried to participate in all of the team sports. I did soccer, I did t-ball, I did football, basketball, and baseball. And I think my biggest role on baseball was left out. I didn't realize later until that wasn't really a position. But I played it anyways. And I played left out in a lot of different sports, but collaborating with the team, really helped me in a underlying way. And that's what we're going to explore today. I was really horrible at all of them. I finally found my sports calling, and it was in pole vaulting. And although
Nice.
Pole vaulting was an independent sport, collaboratively with the team of track and field, we did really well when I was a kid. Now, and I've already said all this. So what we're talking about today is with my good buddy who's very involved with team sports, even now as an adult, is how team sports can impact an individual's life, either if they're young or if they're old, and what it can create for others. So for those of you that are new viewers and listeners, I am JJ Cannon. I'm a 20-year husband and have a father of 2 beautiful girls. I'm CEO of Digital Delight, which is a smart home design and installation firm here in the Houston area. I also co-host another little podcast show called The Digital Ramble with my good buddy Chris Gamble, who's over in the UK. And I've got a master's degree of getting knocked down and getting back up. And today with us on the show, real quick, please like, share, follow. Check us out on YouTube and later on in podcast on Anchor, iTunes, and Spotify. Thank you, Mr. Mike. Today on the show, we have my good friend Rocky Flores. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm fired up to be here.
Absolutely. And so, Rocky, you and I, we go way back.
Sure.
I mean, we go back.
Long time.
I don't know, 10, 15 years?
Closer to 15.
And it goes like that.
Yeah.
Like in just a split second, I was kind of young. I was like 4 or 5 years into the game, into the smart home installation game. And we met at one of our local distributors.
ECD.
is still a fantastic place. It's right there off of West Park, kind of by the dog park.
That's right.
It's kind of set off a little bit. CJ is a good friend of mine.
Great guy.
Great guy. And helps a lot out in the community, as well as technology pros like ourselves. And you and I, you were running the back, in the back. As far as I know, you were getting my orders in place, and when I'd come pick them up, they were ready to roll. And you and I kind of got to know each other in passing.
I started off at the counter there. Yeah. This was back in I want to say 2004, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Getting new to the industry, I didn't know anything. I was working at a Smoothie King.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you know the guys from Zoom, Robert Pelori and Ryan Bickham, walked in there one day and found me and I was selling protein and selling smoothies. I was the manager of the store at the time.
Right.
And they asked me to come over and kind of gave me an opportunity to get in this low voltage world. And I'll be honest, first month in, I had no idea what I was doing. Cat 5, you know, I knew what protein was.
I think a lot of us at a young age. Now, you're local.
Sure.
You're from the Bel Air area, and you've got a little bit of history there at Bel Air High School.
Sure, yes.
You know, that share with our listeners what went on, you know, in your high school years, because from this early, you know, well, it started much younger, I'm sure, but from that high school team sports is what we're talking about. From that, it's kind of, you know, been a guide all the way through to your adult life. And so what happened in at Baylor High School?
At Bel Air High School.
Bel Air.
You know, everyone always talks about, you know, your experience in college and high school. And I was very fortunate enough to play at Bel Air for 4 years. So it was from 94 to 99. And when it comes to experience, I can't tell you what of an experience it was that helped me get to what I would say where I'm at today. The things that I learned, the people that I played with, everyone was a machine there.
Right.
I mean, I remember going out there on tryouts, and there were 120 kids out there. And, you know, you take a step back, and I'm sure all 120 kids were probably the best at their little league. And they come to Bel Air, and you know, you're playing with monsters. Like, there's some big guys, you know,
right. Guys
that went on to play, you know, pro ball, guys that went to play college ball. So it was almost like every year you were fighting just to be on the team. And
right.
I can't tell you what a great experience that was for me.
And in '99, y'all had a really, you know, impressive year.
We had a special team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were ranked #1 in the United States. We won the state championship that year. And, you know, that's kind of what Bel Air baseball is known for, the winning tradition. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't is Bel Air going to win again? It's not. I'm sorry. It's not if they're going to win in the state championship. When are they going to win in the state championship?
Right, because they see the importance of, well, baseball is just such a part of that school and woven into the school now that people seek to go to Bel Air to play ball.
Absolutely.
But really, in return, what it's teaching is skills.
Sure.
You know, and big skills like leadership and collaborating and working through challenges that you might have. And in a team, how can you overcome and battle those challenges?
One of the things I would say that it really helped with is not getting too comfortable. I think in business and in anything that we do, we can get too comfortable where we want to remain the same. And the amount of talent that came through that school, it was almost like if you were a junior or senior, you know, there could have been a freshman or sophomore just as good that could take your spot.
Right.
So it really helped with, you know, there's a saying that Coach Manuel, who awesome, great individual, and I enjoyed playing for him. He says, we don't rebuild at Bel Air, we reload. And every year, it was just the talent that came through. It was just so impressive, like looking back and thinking about it, that here I am as a junior, senior, thinking, okay, I've been part of the team for a couple years. You know, this might be the year that I get kicked off because, you know, someone else, you know, is going to replace me. So that made me work harder. Mm-hmm. You know, and that was one of the key things that I would say.
Keep you focused.
Kept me focused on, you know, the prize of being on that team. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted so bad. Like, mm-hmm. being part of Bel Air baseball was like a huge thing back then. And, you know, it was fun, and I could say that I fought every year to stay on it.
Right.
You
know? And I'm sure that during that experience you had distractions that baseball helped you keep you focused from some of those distractions, and then also kind of helped you on a little bit later on into how to deal with other distractions that might occur and how to deal with them. And so you graduate. You're at Smoothie King.
Okay.
You know, is that right?
That's right.
And you run into Ryan, and he recruits you to go over to ECD, and from ECD you get this new experience. It's a new industry. Had you ever heard about technology or installation prior
I
to
had
those
not
guys? Yeah?
known about anything that went behind the walls. You know, you would only see the stuff that, you know, the speakers and the receivers, but I had no clue of the wire and, you know, everything that went into the infrastructure of a home,
right?
You know, that was supported by it. So there was definitely a new industry for me.
Right. And so from that experience, were you able to implement some things that you might have learned in the past, or was that just kind of a step to the next phase?
It was definitely I don't want to sound cliche here, but it was everything that I had done during baseball, whether it was at playing at high school or playing at the junior college that I played at. I just had to work harder,
Right.
because I was so behind.
Right.
And so the working hard aspect really helped me, and the team culture. I mean, that was one of the things of learning how to be a good teammate when I was young.
Okay, what do you mean so behind? What do you mean by that?
So when I went to Bel Air High School, I didn't know what a double cut was. I didn't know what my relays were. I didn't know what my cutoffs. These were all things that some of these kids had known for a while. I didn't know that, so I had to work even harder to get to not even get ahead to get to the same level that these kids were. ECD was kind of the same thing. There were guys that work at Wave today, Robbie Bonar, who kind of helped me
Good
with.
friend of mine.
Yeah, helped me with, hey, what's a Cat 5 jack, or what's an RG6, what's coax wire, what's 16.2, what's 16.4. So I had to learn, quicker, faster.
Right, and it wasn't necessarily intimidating, but it was like, this is what I have to do if I want to go forward.
Again, going back to past experience, it wasn't intimidating. It was just I had made that choice to work there, and so I needed to do everything that I could to get up to speed to what I would use the word compete.
Right, right. And, so that was at that time, you and I, we had known each other in passing, and then all of a sudden I go in one day and you're not there.
Right.
And it was and several years went by. I want to say a good 6 years went by until you and I, we kind of crossed paths again, and to come to find out you're in a similar business that I was in.
Yep.
And extremely successful at doing that. You'd been busy. You'd been real busy behind the scenes. And you started working for a fantastic company here in our local area called DataSmart.
DataSmart, yes.
And,
I worked with them for almost 8 years.
8 years. Now, DataSmart, for those that don't know, has done a tremendous amount of work in new build homes, I believe, is my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong.
New construction, yes.
Yeah, new construction. And during your time spent over there, DataSmart saw a tremendous amount of growth, primarily in relationship building.
Absolutely.
And networking and communication and strategy. Share some of that with our listeners of how, being a part of a team and being able to see opportunity on the playing field.
Sure.
And structuring a strategy and going and taking it, because I was unaware until we crossed paths at the Greater Houston Builders Association, and I started doing a little bit of digging.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is, if you are in the building industry or sell to a builder, the Greater Houston Builder Association was a great network, a great platform to be a part of in order to meet more people and create more relationships. At the time, I don't think there was a business development position that existed in our world. And Randall, the owner of DataSmart, kind of came to me and he saw what could be, but he's the owner of the company, didn't have time to do that himself, so he hired me. And
it's finding the right player for the position.
That's exactly right.
Is that what we're talking about here?
That's exactly right. That was something that I feel like I'm very strong at, is creating relationships, creating awareness. And so I got plugged in with the Greater Houston Builders Association, and was very fortunate enough to create a lot of relationships, and relationships of people that I consider friends today.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the key things in business, and a lot of businesses strive to do but don't realize it, of how sports and the analogy of sports play a huge part of business. I was reading an article a little bit earlier, and it says in 2014, 400 corporate executives were interviewed, and it was discovered that 94% of them played a sport at one time. 61% of them said that playing the sport had a positive impact on their success.
Absolutely.
And Randall being able to recognize, different players to put in the right positions to tackle an objective and to find success in that. I mean, it's huge. I love that.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, Randall was kind of the Bill Belichick. He was the guy behind the scenes who, hired me to do one position and hired all the other right people to do their position.
It's a team.
Yeah, and so that was probably one of the best experiences I had there is being a part of that team and to see the growth and see the winning, as far as getting to the next goal.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and being very successful at it. I think I saw a stat one time that y'all were wiring more than 5,000 homes a year.
We did, and I think they're a little bit more over that, but it was fun to see the growth of, wiring 2,000 homes when I started back in 2010 to, in 2015, 2016, closer to mid 5,000, so it was impressive, the growth. I mean, I think there was 40 employees, maybe 35 when I started, and to see them grow to over 100, like it was impressive.
That's
a lot of fun.
That's incredible. And then from that experience, with every experience that we have and every kind of chapter we have in our life, we kind of review those chapters and figure out how we want to go forward.
Sure.
And with that, you really embraced home building.
Absolutely.
And you have moved on to do work with a firm called ROC Homes.
ROC Homes.
And y'all's main focus is single-story homes in urban communities, in development communities. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so because of DataSmart and through the GHBA, I would say that I fell in love with the home building business.
Right.
And created a lot of relationships through my 8 years at DataSmart. And with ROC Homes, we specialize in patio homes in the city, in the Loop, all first floor living with the driveway. And, everything goes from 2-story or 3-story, which usually if you get a 3-story home, you have second floor living, so we really have a niche that we've really kind of put all our chips in to move forward. And it's been a great experience so far. I've been there 9 months. We plan on growing this year. Mm-hmm. And it's everything that I thought it would be as far as being part of the building industry.
Right. Well, in using team sports, as in going into a new position,
sure.
And finding where is my strength on this new team sometimes can be challenging. And before we started the show, you were talking about the position that you played,
mm-hmm.
In sports. And sometimes I might get a little bit too tunnel vision in playing one position, and in doing that, I create a challenge for the rest of the team to succeed. And so, talk about that kind of what did you call it? Role playing.
Yeah. So at Bel Air and at Wharton Junior College, I was a role player, and most people don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about being the starting shortstop or the starting second baseman. And but at the end of the day, the talent that was at Bel Air, I wasn't going to play in front of the Jose Enrique Cruzes or the Mark Coles, and so I learned to work hard and to take advantage of every opportunity that I had. So when I was put in, I was able to compete. And so taking that to ROC Homes, they've been in business since 2002. I just couldn't come in and be the shortstop. What I wanted to do was learn my teammates, learn what they were good at, learn their strengths, learn their weaknesses just as they learned mine, and figure out where I can plug in and get the best out of me and my teammates.
Right. And that's something that I think most of us business owners strive to do and to evaluate, and try to understand what makes that individual perform to the maximum of what registers with them, and in the sense sometimes business wise, it's financial. I guess athletics as well,
Sure.
Is a motivator. Communication is definitely a motivator in the sense of how you communicate with somebody in a positive or in a negative way, or constructive, or and being able to analyze that to create the best performance. And I love that topic of creating a passion and getting people on your team that want to have that same passion.
Right.
And how can I fill, or plug a hole,
right,
to get this ship to float,
sure,
per se. So I love that. And so something behind the scenes of all this, business aspect that you have. You have a side hustle. I got a couple of side hustles, but baseball has been you haven't left it on the field.
Never.
You didn't leave it behind.
No, I did not.
It's something that you're doing still on a regular basis, on a daily basis. Tell us about Cruz Baseball.
So Cruz Baseball. We started Cruz Baseball back in 2013. I started coaching, I think, in 2006. And, I've been good friends with Jose Enrique Cruz, son of Jose Cruz. And we played together at Bel Air. We kept in touch. After he was done with his professional career, he was coming back to finish his degree at Rice. And he had plugged in with a couple of teams where he was coaching. And just one day we kind of said, hey, we want to do it our way, and let's start something. Let's build something and kind of implement all the things that we've always been taught or talked about teaching. And so we started it in 2013, and here we are going into our 6th year of business, and it's been a lot of fun,
So Cruz Baseball, when people hear Cruz Baseball, you want them to know that it's about lessons. And do y'all do tournaments, or is it focused on strategy and
Yeah, so we run anywhere from 4 to 6 teams in the spring, and then in the fall anywhere from 4 to 8 teams. And teams can range from 9 years old all the way up to the high school leagues that are 15 through 18. And so our main focus is teams. That's what we do. And so if you're on a 9-year-old team or a 14-year-old team, you're practicing twice a week with us, and then we're playing twice a month. So it is tournaments.
Yeah, so it's tournament play.
Tournament play.
Is it boys and girls, or?
It is only boys at the moment. We've talked a lot about softball, but we haven't got there yet. But the baseball side of things keeps us real busy.
And what is that, 10 teams a year? Or
we've been as big as 10 teams, and I think going to this spring we're only 4. So that helps us really focus on just the 4 teams that we have. It's crazy how the dynamic of having 5 teams or 6 teams, even though it's only 2 more teams, can change the amount of time and effort that you can spend into just 4 teams. So that's what we are this spring. But in the fall we pick up the high school guys again, and we'll have more teams then.
Yeah, I see that y'all have a focus on a high school program, for those kids that are, getting ready to go to play college ball.
Sure. Or
get out into, college itself, or just get out into the real world.
Yeah, our strategy on the high school program is a little different. What we try to do is we don't travel in the summer. We don't do any of the big tournaments. Our high school program is strictly for kids who want to join a program that their high school doesn't provide. So if you go to a school and they don't have a fall league and you don't play football or you don't play basketball, we provide a program for you on that, to where early in August we'll practice and we'll do strength and conditioning, and then once September starts we'll put them in a league where they play twice a week. That takes us up into October, and then we'll try to focus on shutting the arms down at the end of November and just really trying to go back into that strength and conditioning and stay with hitting.
Right. I'm getting flagged down here that we have a little bit of love here, and we got Kelly Cutsinger. Hey there, Kelly. Thank you for joining. Love your story. Chris Gamble, write a book, Rocky. Rocky, you got a book in you. You might.
I have a journal, and
so
one day it might turn into something, but I don't know if anyone will buy it.
Let's see. Kirk Stinson.
Houston Hornets, that's a good team. That's a good program.
Yeah, and Kirk Stinson's a good buddy of mine. He's up in the Woodlands area. His young man, Graham Stinson, fantastic kiddo. Rock or Rocky? Or Rock?
I go by Rock. I've been going by Rock since I was 4 years old.
Yeah. Is that your name?
Yeah. So my actual name is Roque. So ROQUE. But my
Roque.
dad is it's Spanish.
Yeah.
Language of love. Yeah.
I like Rock. There you go. Let's see. Business requires tactics to navigate the challenges faced. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of those taxes are easy to subliminally be learned, through team sports as a kiddo. I know Gamble, his young man Jack's out there on the rugby field. Talk about a team sport, and
sure,
getting knocked down and getting back up. You've got to have good coaching for that one. Hey, Lori, how are you? What is that? Go Cards?
Yeah, Lori Witt. Yeah,
you know her?
Yes, I do.
Hey, Lori. And
she played softball at UT and her son Tanner Witt just committed to UT about a month ago. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, let's see here on y'all's
ROC Witt.
ROC Witt. Thank you, Lori. All right, also on y'all's website, there's a easy way to contact you guys. And it is at, if you're looking for their website, down in the details down below, we got a link, cruzbaseball.com. If you want to reach out to these guys, check them out at cruzbaseball.com/contact_us. And super easy form to fill out. I'm sure it'll go to Rocky or somebody on his team that will reach back out to y'all and get your kids placed.
Absolutely. We're still looking. We have one spot open in our 14-year-old team, and we have one spot open on our 12-year-old team. And so please reach out if you have someone that's interested or know of someone that's looking for a team.
That's cool. Yeah, man, I'm so excited that you were able to take some time and come visit with us today.
Thank you for having me. I can't thank you enough.
And I remember, when you and I met back up over at that GHBA, and there was one thing that you told me, Rock, is like I was a little discouraged because Data Smart's a big firm, and Digital Delight we do very well. We're not Data Smart. And I was, concerned about competition. And you mentioned something to me about competing, and being out on the field. Do you remember that?
I vaguely, but yes. Yeah.
And essentially it was like, whoever has the best team out in the field wins, in the sense of like, we're both here to play and we're going to try to do our best for our team and for, our audience. And,
sure.
And you by telling me that, and it wasn't exactly whoever has the best team on the field wins, but it was essentially that, that you'll cross my paths and I'll cross your paths, and we do the best that we possibly can do for the end result. And that meant a lot to me at that time, and you were very welcoming, and so I greatly appreciate that. And I'm so excited to see both of us, from like 15 years ago, continue to succeed. With our families.
Absolutely.
That's really where I believe success is measured, is with our families and true happiness, and what we participate in, outside of our normal 9 to 5, or if you're an entrepreneur, you never close.
That's right. That's right. Always working.
Always working. So I want to say thank you for joining me, Rocky, and I want to say thank you, audience, for tuning in and watching us live on Facebook and also on Instagram, and dropping some comments down below. I want to encourage everybody to like, share, and subscribe to our channels. You can also find the Y Experience with JJ Cannon on YouTube, and then we also stream it out on podcast too, Rocky. So make sure you let all your friends know.
Absolutely.
They can tune in to us on iTunes Radio or on Spotify or on Anchor Radio. Thank you for everybody that participated and joined us down here in the comments down below. And next week we're going to have another fantastic show. I believe we have one of our good friends coming on. Who do we have coming on next week, honey? Oh, Randy Gutenberger.
Strong name.
Yeah. Randy helped Hope and I out many years ago when we were having some challenges, when she didn't like me so much. So that will be a great interview. And we had been married for like 10 years. Go figure. And now we're going on 21 years. So it's a good time to have Randy in and revisit with him, let him know how we are doing, and to hear how he helps other people through challenges in life too. So, all right, brother. Great to see you.
Thank you very much. And I'll close just like we tell our, right before we break out with all the players. I said, don't let anyone outwork you. Make sure you tell your mom and dad you love them.
Yeah.
And learn how to work outside of here. So
I love that. I love that. And everybody, thanks for joining us today. I want to encourage everyone to seek out their why in every experience they create. Ask yourself, why am I doing what I do? And what is the effect it's having on me and potentially others? In addition to that ask, is it a positive return or is it not? I hope in everything we do, it is for the better. All right, until next time, y'all have a great week. If you're looking to make your basic home smart, check out digitaldelight.com/shop, where they have a variety of different smart home technology solutions that help make smart home shopping easy for you. Check out digitaldelight.com/shop. Support the Y Experience with JJ Cannon by becoming a Patreon. Every month, the Y Experience will receive a regular source of income from supporters like you who've pledged through Patreon. Having your ongoing support for as little as $1 a month means we spend less time thinking about business and more time creating quality content for you.